Filipinos presents with today's filmmaker panel. Ang Huling Sayaw's The Late Checkout's Edrian Pangilinan. Sheryl's Anthea Neri Best. Awaken's Alijah Buada. Please welcome your host, Janice Villanueva.
Hello and good morning, everyone. My name is Hello and Happy Saturday. I'm Janice Villanueva, your host for today's filmmaker panel. Thank you all for joining us to meet a few of our very amazing and talented filmmakers. Now, before we start, we just have a few announcements we'd like to share with all of our SoCal Filipino members and fam. This evening in San Diego, we have Struck Unplugged, a music event at the Mingay Museum at Balboa Park at 6 p.m. So if you're looking for something to do and while you're in San Diego, make sure you check out that event. Tickets available at the door. We also have the inaugural Manila International Film Festival starting on November 2nd at the Directors Guild of America. So very exciting, it's a very exciting event where they'll be featuring, I believe, up to 10 films from the Philippines. Next, we also have the Bad Boys of Pop and R&B on November 4th at the Celebrity Center International in LA. And that includes Bugoy Drilon, Daryl Ong, and Garth Garcia. Last but not least, we also have the 20th anniversary concert with JR at the Garden Amphitheater, and that's going to be held on November 18. So be sure to check out our Facebook events and website for more information about these events, along with upcoming events. All right, with that said, we are going to go ahead and jump right into our interview. And so the first thing I'm going to show is our Awaken trailer.
And so I pleaded that fateful night, let rain befall, thou teary eye.
And so he beseeched the rain to stay, only to find that yesterday's tomorrow is sunny today.
Did he ever find her? Whole lot of living about a whole lot of nobody.
I'm a drunk who likes smoking cheap cigarettes. And it's like, in my dream, I realized it was a dream. Just stuck.
All right, everyone, please help me welcome Mr. Alijah Buada. Welcome,
Hi,
Alijah.
everyone. Hi, Janice. Thank you for having me. Nice to see you again.
Likewise, I'm so glad that you're here this morning with us on this Saturday morning, right? And you're joining me here from San Diego as well. Is that correct?
Yes, that is correct.
Awesome. I love it. All righty. So, Alijah, let's just get to it. Awaken.
Yeah.
What is it about? Tell us a little bit about your film.
Well, first things first is that this was actually my debut experimental short film as a writer, producer, and director. Here in San Diego, it was in association with the Asian Culture and Media Alliance. Shot here also in San Diego, more specifically Del Mar and Ocean Beach. And it debuted recently at the 3rd annual San Diego Filipino Film Festival. And this, in summation, it's about this young girl struggling with delusion and this weary local frequenting their favorite seaside bench. And reality proves kind of complicated for this odd pair as they attempt to keep away this sort of long forgotten memory. And yeah.
Got it. No, that's wonderful. I was wondering, the beach looked familiar. And so I was wondering, okay, which beach is that in San Diego? Definitely not Coronado. So good to know it's Del Mar Beach. Beautiful. And, filming at a location like that outdoors, I mean, how challenging is that too, right? And yeah, look, if you could just let us know.
Yeah. I mean, that was so, it was abrasive. You're dealing with crowd control, you're dealing with outside weather, you're dealing with police officers roaming by, park rangers, and then just the curious onlooker, you know, kind of taking all that in whilst filming with a crew of 20 plus people. It's daunting, but when done efficiently and with good people, it's all in goodwill and good virtue. So we had a blast, and the community around us welcomed us. So yeah.
You got it. And were you able to film everything in one day, or did it take a couple days to complete all the
Mhm.
filming that you needed?
So we shot in Del Mar in those in the beachy areas or across 2 days, and we spent one entire day there. And then day two, we were trying to chase sunset hour and get some good horizons. And the way it timed out, the time of day, I think it was peak summer. It was a good time to do so.
Oh, that's perfect. Really nice then. And so, Elijah, this movie,
Mhm,
right?
mhm,
What was your inspiration behind it, and
mhm.
how did you come up with the concept?
So fun fact is that Awaken was based solely on a dream that I dreamt, and to make
Ah,
that even more strange and cool is that it kind of spanned across multiple nights. So it was a recurring dream, and what I wanted to do was honor it in full, every vision piece by piece. I think, and then from this point moving on, the greatest source of inspiration can be just from my mind itself and um, from those dreams of mine. So I hope to not only continue that, but if you know what they say is like if your mind is so active in your subconscious mind at night, then that shows the creativity that's stirring in your mind. So even when you're not awake, so that is my inspiration.
that's amazing, right? You never know.
Mhm,
I mean, with
mhm,
creatives, right? You never know where you pull your inspiration from for something like that, from a recurring dream that you had, and so that's pretty awesome. And just in general, right? With
mhm.
this film, again, I'm sure it took a lot of passion and heart, right, to put it together.
Most definitely.
What was your most favorite part about it?
Well, the funny thing is, like, I had filtered in a bunch of Easter eggs because like, as a filmmaker, you like to make what you like and write what you know. So dropping those in for like if you know sort of situations was fun. But I found that it was after the planning and after the shooting, my favorite part was the sound design, and I think it sounds really beautiful in theater. My
Mhm.
composer Graham Sanders did so well in kind of like refining my ideas, leitmotifs, and making sure that film is a visual landscape, but we created such a like beautiful world building soundscape. And I'm always been an audiophile. I love music, and to have that be a part of this film too was my favorite, absolute favorite.
That's all. So did you get to just handpick then, right, what music you wanted for the background, for the
Yeah,
film?
and it's interesting. It was unbeknownst to me prior to it was this idea of like how can I spew words and descriptions in a person who doesn't come from like a musical like notation and all that sort of professional background. Getting him to translate the ideas in my head, the sounds, reversals, reverbs, and uh, wind chimes and all of these sorts of cool soundscapes. And it was fun. It was really fun.
No, that's wonderful. Okay, and so, all right, Elijah, becoming a filmmaker is not the
Mhm,
traditional career path, right? We talk about
mhm,
growing up as Filipino. And
mhm,
so, where were you? How old were you when you had this idea or this epiphany that you wanted to go into filmmaking?
mhm. I think you know it's interesting because I've always branded myself like a writer first, right? I think that's my what piques my interest the most, and I think as a storyteller, that is very important. Is you're exploring what you write about, what you live through, that lived in experience. I think once I figured out early on in like my adolescence, I was like, I know how to cadence my words. I know how to fluently speak. I know how to convey a message or give advice. I think bleeding that into my professional career, my creative career, um, speaking amongst family members, friends, and new faces. I think that is what allows me to seep into filmmaking kind of easily. Trained by undergrad, but also just seasoned by years of just creativity. Yeah.
Yeah, that's awesome. And so then were your parents, I imagine they're pretty supportive
Mhm.
of this direction, this career path that you wanted to go down.
Yeah, I mean, they always knew I had a knack for like being well spoken or well presented, and I think you know that the journey into figuring out how I wanted to live the rest of my life started with the realization of like this is what I'm best at, and this is also what I believe in. And I think a lot of people have a hard time mixing those two notions together and sacrifice one over the other. To me, it was their support and the support of all my cousins that really branded me and allowed me to like flourish.
That is awesome. That's wonderful. And so, again, with filmmaking, right? And you talked about being a
Mhm,
writer, right? So you started off
mhm,
as a writer first, and
mhm.
did you write part of the film as well, or part of Awaken?
Yeah, yeah. So of course, a dream is spliced out into a bunch of kind of a mixed salad of ideas or like scenes. Um, the writing came towards when um, I found Holy Car, who stars as Rain in Awaken. I
Mhm.
started to write for her, kind of write the situation based off of what we communicated, how we wanted to collaborate, and kind of these familiar and familial situations that we wanted to integrate. And I think that really put my pen on paper was just her presence and also my dream and combining all that with as much honesty and personality as we could.
No, that's wonderful. And so, what type of advice, if you will, would you give to someone who is
Mhm.
interested in becoming a filmmaker?
Also, I would say, or I'd advise them, to study human behavior and the human
Mhm.
experience. I think that is largely overlooked. Filmmaking kind of involves psychology and analytics, and to bring your story to life, you first need to teach yourself how life itself works in kind of minute and boring and meaningful ways. I'm at least an actor's director. I'm a people person, and I love to eh, convey human emotion as raw and true as I can. I think what that requires is like a nice understanding of what we feel, how we feel it, and in what situations. That would be like my mainstay of advice. Yeah.
Got it. Now that's wonderful. And I know this wasn't part of the questions, but are there
Mhm.
other filmmakers or who is your inspiration? Um,
Yeah, yeah. I'd like to say, man, geez. Sofia Coppola, who was
mm,
actually having a film coming up soon, the Priscilla film. Lynn Ramsey, kind of also another great director who happens to be female. I like to distinguish that between female director. Um, they're just wonderful. Their works. Lynn Ramsey leans towards the psychological, experimental. Sofia Coppola is always bold and brash. You think of Wes Anderson too, that kind of heavy dosed like knack or eye or look for their type of films. It's just
mhm,
so distinguished, and same thing with like Jordan Peele, for example, um, Eric Romer, like all of these
mhm.
filmmakers that I study, they all have their own niche pocket that they sort of build and worlds that they sculpt from their own minds. That's something only I wish to emulate, but definitely Awaken is my first glimpse at exactly that.
That's awesome and that's wonderful. All right. So we know that Awaken was shown, right, at the San Diego
Mhm,
Filipino Film Festival. That was just what, a
mhm,
couple weeks ago.
mhm.
And where is the movie gonna is your film gonna be shown somewhere else? Or where can folks catch it again?
Yeah, yeah. So coming up pretty soon, on Sunday, November 5th, which is the top of next month at 12:40, Awaken will be showing at the Edwards in Mira Mesa, here in San Diego as part of the 24th annual San Diego Asian Film Festival. It is part of, and this is beautiful, by the way, the Astral Projections program. I encourage everyone to come check it out. It'll be a nice vibe, a homey feel, slated with some other beautiful filmmakers, and a Q&A both before and after. You can talk to me about it and give me your thoughts. Yeah.
That's awesome. All right, guys, you heard it here. So, for those who are just joining us, we have Elijah Buada on the screen here and promoting his film Awaken. And so, if you haven't had a chance to catch it yet, you do have another opportunity here in San Diego at the San Diego Asian Film Festival coming up in the next few days here. So, that's awesome. Now, I know that you also have another project that you are
Mhm,
working on. Are we good
mhm.
to go ahead and play the trailer for that one?
Yes, yes, yes. It's a nice audio visual landscape that I put out, so we can do it. We can do it.
Awesome. All right. Give me one second. Let me cue it up.
私のおばあちゃんは昔よく秘密のお話を聞かせてくれたわ。その一つに夢は無意識への王道であるというお話があったの。おばあちゃんは自分のたどった旅についてたくさんのことを聞かせてくれたわ。それがまるでしわくちゃの老人の夢に過ぎないかのようにとても滑稽に見えがちなこともね。このアストラル平面は未現実。それは意識をつないで私たち全員を結びつけているの。そこが私たちのアストラルスピリッツが集う場所なのよ。すべての抑えきれない情熱が高揚して次元上昇されるの。私たちの心によって動かされた波が終わったり再出発する場所。私たちの脳は私たちの記憶を浮かせる。けれど夢は私たちの心を漂流させるって彼女は言うでしょうね。
Wow, that's pretty awesome. My goodness. I
Thank
wanted to
you,
make
thank you,
sure.
Janice.
Yeah, you got it. You sent that to us, and I on purpose didn't watch the trailers because I wanted to
Mhm,
have a natural reaction for when I
mhm,
saw it. That
mhm,
is pretty cool. The Japanese background,
mhm,
definitely a great teaser. It gives us something to look forward to and be super
mhm.
excited about. Without giving us too many details, right?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Is there anything that you can share? And for those who are joining us in the chat, whether you're on Facebook, YouTube, or Twitch, if you guys have questions, please, enter those questions in the chat, and we'll make sure we ask them to Elijah. Elijah, go ahead.
Yeah, so without spoiling, the title of this film is Adrift, and it is yet again another experimental film based on a dream of mine. Returning on screen, actually, from Awaken will be Haoli Kar, who will play Saki, and Trung To, who was also on Awaken, who will play Kafka. It's an avant-garde story, as you might have been able to tell, based on Japanese culture, folklore from the Edo period, and once again, figures and faces that I've dreamt of. Um, like the log line, it's a working log line right now. It's like an inexperienced astral projector seeks his grandmother's wisdom after meeting an uncanny woman in a place transcending reality. It is halfway through pre-production, actually. I'm in cahoots with Howley. It is set to shoot no later than spring of next year. So I'm ambitious and I'm working towards it. Awaken was just the beginning. Adrift is on its way.
Nice. I love this awakened, and you have a drift. I can't.
Yeah.
I'm seeing a series here, right? Or
Mhm.
something at least related. So
Exactly.
super exciting. Wow. Well, congratulations. Congratulations on your success with Awaken.
Thank you. Thank you.
Absolutely looking forward to Adrift. And you know what we'll do is we're going to go ahead and transition out. Again, folks,
Mhm.
if you guys have questions for Elijah, please, please, please be sure to drop them in the chat. We want to make sure that we, ask them. Let's see. All right. So, Elijah, thank you so much for again sharing information about your current movie, Awaken. Again, for folks who didn't catch it, it will be shown at the San Diego Asian Film Festival, which is scheduled next week here, coming days here. And then, so Elijah, we're going to go ahead and put you back in the green room. And then we're going to go ahead and bring up our next filmmaker. All right. We'll see you in a little bit. Thank you so
You
much.
will. Thank
All
you.
right. All right. So our next filmmaker that we have, I'm going to go ahead and just play his trailer here. And without further ado,
At this point, it feels like it never happened.
I miss the simplicity, but not the pain.
At this point, it feels like it never happened.
I miss the simplicity, but not the pain.
please help me welcome Edrian Pangilinan. Hi, Adrian. How are
Hello!
you?
Kamusta mabuhay? Magandang buhay sa lahat.
I
Hello!
know, right? Hello, magandang umaga also, right? For those of us here in the West
Yes.
Coast. So it's good to see you. Thank you so much for joining us today. Again, another amazing and talented filmmaker. We had Elijah on just now, and now we have
Yeah.
you. So, Adrian, this film, my goodness, very different from what we've seen with Elijah, right? But tell us, give us a little bit of insight about your film.
Yes. First of all, I just wanted to say thank you, Janice, for having me here. I love that you're entering your content creator era. Come on. And
Adrian.
also SoCal Filipinos for having me. Um, for me, I knew that like actually this story had been in mind since 2021. Um hey Josh. Yeah, like I had my good friend, someone that I consider maybe a mentor, Charles Gray. He was the first one to like hear about the story, and it was super rough. I actually thought it was gonna be more darker, more angsty. Um but then I was like, you know what? Let me go back to my roots of being wholesome. So, in other words, Ang Huling Sayaw, The Late Checkout, is actually a hookup film, a very queer-friendly, wholesome hookup film. And I really wanted to pay homage to the stories and the things that happen behind closed doors. And that doesn't mean that it always just has to be about sex, especially being someone who's queer, Filipino brown queer. I wanted to tell stories that I feel like I relate to and resonated more versus the more like hypersexualized stories out there, which is great. I mean, I love it too, to be honest. But you know, what I mean, I was just like, where's my story? Like, where's our story?
Exactly. And that's what you did. You put together this idea and depicted it so well on the film. So congratulations to you on doing an amazing job with that. Um, and so, Adrian, just like with any film, right, there are challenges, right, that come with
Mm.
production, whether it's cost or sets and all of that, right? What were some of the challenges that you faced during this film?
Oh, you know what? Actually, when I think about, we filmed this back in May, um, started writing in April, but actually, for me, I would say, like, I mean, it comes from a loving place. I feel like the issues that I had face more was with myself, my confidence and my self-esteem. And like, I'm really really grateful to have had each and every one of my crew who like lifted me up. um they're like, you can do this, you're the director now, you're not a PA anymore, you're not set design, you're not this and that, you're the director, this is your ship and you got to run it. And I was like, oh shit, yeah, we got to run the ship or else we're gonna sink.
For sure.
So you know what I mean. So it really was that, actually. um
Hmm.
but I mean, though, like, I guess I'll also like put it out there that like other like the common, I guess, struggles too that a lot of people will face, it includes finance, producing, finding cast, location. I mean, location too, actually. That was not our original location.
Hmm.
First location, I mean, they're both hotels, but the first one was in Chula Vista, and I came in very like green, and I was like, I have a film that I'm filming and I paid for it, and I was wondering if I can get accommodations. I'm not saying don't do it, but just know that what they don't know won't hurt them. You know what I mean? So basically, they thought that I was filming porn. Uh,
Oh.
they rejected my, yeah, they didn't let me film, which I understand, but I was like, no, I'm filming a short film. But then, it's like, yeah, right.
Here you are in a
So
hotel room, and yeah.
yes, and there's a lot of people. I get it. So I guess that was one of the things too. But actually, everything else I felt like fell into place. Though it's a lot of hard work. You know what I mean? But I feel
Absolutely.
like the hotel was because it's all happened in the week of the filming.
Oh my gosh.
Location change.
And how long did it take you to put your short film together? Was it a matter of were you able to film everything within 1 to 2 days time frame?
Almost actually. So the hotel scene, which is the main chunk of the story, was filmed in 2 days back to back. May, I think, 18 and then
Mhm.
19. And then since we had Beanie Beaning Maria Isabel Lopez, she made a cameo. Shout out Maria. Thank you. We drove, three of us, like had a last minute road trip to Sonoma County in the Bay Area, 10
Mhm.
hours on the 29th of May. So that was like Memorial Day weekend. And then June 16 was our last filming day, which was the prom scene, which is the one that you saw in the trailer. So four
Mhm.
days. We had 4 filming days.
Wow, 4 days. That's awesome. And I can imagine just the craziness, that goes, the rush, and just it must be overwhelming, just again trying to make sure you capture all the appropriate scenes, the right lighting, and all that in such a short amount of time. So
Yes.
it is
Yes.
all good there. Okay, and so Adrian, how did you get into filmmaking? I mean, you talked about how you've been, a PA, you've done a lot of the background work, right? Um,
Mm.
how did you transition to filmmaking?
You know what? So I think this is very important for me to say that I think a lot of the people that know me now, they're
Hmm.
they're catching me. I mean, you've known me longer actually, so um, they're seeing my career in the way that it's been just the last 3 years. Since
Hmm.
2020, I actually like actively sought out to start working on sets professionally. Like obviously, even if it was virtually, but this
Hmm.
started like filmmaking started for me back in 2014. So, Ang Huling Sayaw actually is almost like my 10th year anniversary baby, you know.
Nice.
So I mean. So it goes to say that like things don't take things don't happen overnight. It took me almost a decade to be where I'm at now. And actually, speaking of where I'm at now, I'm actually volunteering to. I mean, to answer your question, sorry. Like, I did a lot of volunteering, just wanting to learn, wanting to help out. And today, at this moment, I'm actually helping out a good friend with his Loyola Marymount like short film. So I'm doing
Ah,
wardrobe in LA right now. So it's just a whole lot of like saying yes, but I think it's really nice to be able to do PA in the beginning because
mhm,
there's no pressure for you to know anything. You just
mhm,
like you're on set, you're absorbing everything, and you're being told what to do. And then as you do more of that, you start to like kind of climb up the ladder. So I started doing like art direction. I'm doing wardrobe for this one for the first time. I really love it. And then AD, assistant directing, and then film, and then being a director, producer. So you just kind of like go up the social ladder chart.
You got it. But I think that's great also, right? Because you're getting experience. It's like you're learning all facets, right? Of when it comes to making the films. I think it's important. It's great if you can understand that part of it, right? Just
Yeah.
the entire cycle, if you will, because each of those roles plays such a key part, right? Each of them is just
Yes.
as important, and you need them all functioning well together. So.
Yes.
Absolutely. All right. And so, Adrian, let's see here. When can we see your film? Is it going to be shown again anytime soon?
What's the date today? Isn't it
Today's
29th already?
28, 28. So,
Okay, perfect. Okay. Actually, as of this recording right now, you all have one more day to watch Ang Huling Sayaw publicly as part of the San Diego Filipino Film Festival's virtual cinema that's happening up until tomorrow, I think. So, yeah, if you just go to their website, there'll be information and my film, Elijah's film, Awaken, beautiful film by the way. Um, yeah, it's also part of that virtual cinema component. So you guys have one more day to see it publicly for now. But other than that, like if y'all can pray for me for other film
so
festivals to accept, to kind of like continue the great momentum that was started this month.
absolutely. We will definitely send you good juju vibes, good vibes, and
Mm.
all of that. And so, do you have any upcoming? Well, let me back up. As a filmmaker, right? Is there any advice that you would share, with someone who is interested in becoming a filmmaker as well?
Um, I yes, there's a lot. Actually, I was thinking about that on my way over here, like because yesterday I wore two different hats. I was the wardrobe, and then I was a wardrobe pre-production and production, and then I was also asked to do script supervisor for the first time, and I was really tired by the end of the day.
Wow.
But I was physically tired, but I was so fulfilled. Like the people that I'm currently working with, it's really amazing, and that made me realize that this industry is a people industry. Like you have to be able to like love people enough in that way to see them, to empathize with them, to be able to work with them. Yeah, you have to be very flexible, understanding. Like yes, it's important to be a yes person, but also now
Mhm.
too. I mean now, but in general, it's very important to know how to like establish your boundaries too. Because you can't just be a yes person and then you're like doing everything and then you're like burnt out. Then how can you function?
Absolutely, right? You need a break too, right? You need that mental, um, as much as you want to, help out and do so much at the same time. We all know our limits, so it's good. It's good.
Yeah.
Just have
Um,
to.
yeah, just be a people. I like, yeah, be a just be a good person. You know what I mean? Like, that's very universal. But in film sets, like the
Mhm.
more authentic you can be, the more like easygoing you can be, a team player, the more like it'll be amazing. Actually. Oh, sorry. Hold on. Oops.
Sounds
The
good.
more people will love working with you and want to keep asking you back.
That is awesome. All right, give me one sec, folks. My battery, I apologize. Crazy technical issues is about to die. So give me 20 seconds to switch here.
No, you're good. It's okay. Thank you, Justin. I'll read off the comments off the. Hold on. I'll
Yes, please
continue.
do. Yes,
I became the
absolutely.
host. No, just kidding. Thank you, Jasper. He said, "Oh, it was so beautiful." He cried.
Mhm,
He told me in person when he saw it. Just Jason said, "If no one's gonna tell your story, we have to tell ourselves."
mhm.
Joshua said, "That's crazy. Never would have thought. I think it's the hotel." Hi, Julian. Julian Bataclan is one of my executive producers. Thank you, executive producers. We love that. Come on. Thank you, Jasper. Thank you, Jason. Joshua said, "Yo, this camera quality is insane for being inside a car. Is it good or bad?"
It's good. You're good. Your lighting is
Am I good?
amazing. So yeah, you sound good too. So all good
you.
there. That's wonderful. Now, Adrian, will you be able to come back later on? We're going to go ahead and we're going to bring up our next filmmaker. And once we are done connecting with her, we will bring you and Alijah back. Sound okay?
Yes. I'll see you in a bit.
All right. We'll see you in a bit. All right, Adrian. Thank you so much. All right.
Thank you.
Got it. All right, folks. So again, here we are. We are having our filmmaker panel, and so far we have interviewed Alijah Buada, director of Awaken, and we also had Edrian Pangilinan, who is director of Huling, Sayaw. And so next we have our third and final director, and so let me go ahead and pull up her trailer called Sheryl.
What took you so long?
Because you said you like it when I look good. Unless you want me to look like Julie over there. Sorry, I didn't dress like I'm about to make my first OnlyFans video.
Everybody's having fun, right?
What the heck, babe? You freaking stabbed Mike.
It wasn't my fault, she pushed me.
Right, it's never your fault.
I lost my shoes. My clothes are freaking ruined.
I can't do this. I can't do with your craziness. You're not hot enough. Anyway, have a good life.
Wait, Ted!
You really know how to pick them.
People tell you they're one way, and then when you get to know them, they're someone else.
Many patients come in because they believe that I can give them the perfect face or make them look like a certain person.
You can't let the world push you around. You have to be the pusher. If you want something out of this world, you gotta go take it.
Huh? Why are you doing this? Your hair. It's perfect. Still, please. I need this to be perfect. What if it's about the feeling she gets? The brief, fleeting feeling that maybe she's pretty enough.
What did you tell them?
What?
The cop, Sheryl. What did you say?
She's so beautiful. Well, her nose is, but her ears are kind of weird. I'm a fan. Okay. Of your nose. Don't worry. Pretty girl like you, everything will be okay. I don't know what I'm saying. What happened to loving people for who they are?
Anthea! Oh my gosh! That's so wicked wild right there. Oh my God. First, welcome, Anthea, Neri, Best. Thank you so much for being here. Man, that was absolutely insane. Same thing as I told the other filmmakers that I didn't want to watch the trailers simply because I wanted to have that natural initial reaction first. But yeah, seriously, right? Oh my God. Holy moly. Okay, this one, damn, right, Jasper? No kidding. Insanely insane. And Anthea, you are muted, just FYI. And so
I've been laughing to myself. Oh my God, this is so entertaining.
Okay.
I was like, okay, yeah.
Man, horror, comedy, thriller, right? All wrapped up into one. Girl, tell us about it. Oh my goodness, Sheryl.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. So Sheryl has been an amazing project that I have gotten the privilege to do with my husband. It's about a beauty-obsessed woman that goes on a blood-soaked quest to create the perfect face. It's like American Psycho meets Barbie, and it's inspired by our award-winning short film called Face On, which was inspired by Martin Scorsese's thesis film, Big Shave. So we did, just like the previous filmmakers, we did this solely independently. It's a feature film, full feature film. We actually went on SoCal Filipinos before our launch for the Seed and Spark. So we did a 45-day Seed and Spark, and we raised over $60,000. And the rest, my husband and I just invested in. And we have an ultra low budget SAG feature film. And it's just about, it's a fun story I think it's just a fun story that just talks about a modern woman in this beauty obsessed world that we kind of live in, and all these social pressures of being perfect, about of his culture and society. You have to look perfect, you have to act perfect, you have to know everything, you have to take care of your family, you have to work, and you have to smile, and you have to look great. Like all of this, those are untalked about conversations that we have in the world, and and we just kind of accept it as a thing. So yeah, and about the mask that we wear in like different rooms or different situations, that we have to be be a different person for a different room. And why can't you just be yourself for all of your flaws? All of your imperfections are good enough. So it's just a fun like little film that takes you on through that journey just through this person's eyes.
Right.
Yeah.
And you're right. Again, society, although we know better, right? We know better that we should
I
accept
know.
our flaws, and we're perfect just the way we are. Man, it's tough. It really is. But then no, I think you're doing an amazing way depicting this. And I'm like, is she really going to cut off her nose? Like, is that going to happen here? Or what? So all good there. And then for you, right? I mean, when you think about Filipino cinema, right? You think about comedies, we think about dramas. That's what that's just how it is. Why thriller, or how was that move to horror and thriller for you?
One, being as a first-time feature filmmaker, and going to the other side, that genre is, and that community is so loving. So loving, so welcoming. Why do you think Jordan Peele started with that? So like they are so accepting. They, about new faces, new stories, trying new things. And my husband, who's the director for it, he's a new director. We're new filmmakers. It's just a very welcoming community. And also, have you ever seen a person of color who happens to be Asian American, who also happens to be Filipina, be the lead protagonist holding a knife? My mom, if she was alive, she's like, Anthea, what are you doing? Oh my God. Like, it's just exactly the holy moly, like the wow, that it's just a shock factor. But we, as an actor, you can expand and tell different stories. And that's why storytelling is so fun, right? We live our daily lives, and then we get to experience and feel different things, and just escape some people through cinema. And so that's why horror thriller. It's fun. It's a loving community, even if it's just blood soaked and really kind of terrifying sometimes. But it's a really welcoming, loving community, and it's just fun to make. Yeah.
All that. No, that's great. And so we know you as an actress, right? You're there. You're in the movie, but you've also done behind the scenes work, right? I mean, for you, which is your preference? Do you love being in front of the camera, or do you love the work behind it, or is the combination of both?
I believe it's a combination of both, but being on stage, singing is always my first passion, my love. You put me in front of a camera. I love being behind the camera, because how many Filipinos did you see on that film? Just right there.
Yeah.
Like, it's like you choose your friends, you choose the people that you want to be. It's like, it's not just because we're going to hashtag diversity. It's like, I like working with these people. They're talented. They could deserve to play different types of roles that are not just given to us. We're more than nurses.
Yes,
okay?
exactly.
And I played so many, even though, I understand that we can play different types of roles and characters and embody that. So, I love it. I love being on camera and on stage first. And then I also love producing, because you get to, just like what Jason said earlier, if you want something, you want to see something, you want that change, you be that change. So you are that advocate, and being in such a, powerful position, being executive producer, you have a say.
Yes, you get to do that.
You
That's right.
get your butt in the room. I want to see you try for this audition for this role. You've been wanting to do it. And you have that power to do that and to make that change where Hollywood is like, nope, stories like that don't sell. Being a lead female and person of color doesn't sell. You change that because you choose yourself, and you always win if you choose yourself.
That is wonderful. Hands down to you guys, the game changers, right? The ones that are out there
Yeah.
doing this and putting us out there. So, and you're female. So I love that, even more so. Girl power, female power, right? So let's see. Jason has a question here. Did I also see Aaron Dumas in the trailer? Is that?
Yes, he did a phenomenal job. That was Aaron. You had spotted an Aaron Dumas. He played our doctor. Yeah, so that was a Aaron Dumas spotting.
That is awesome. So, Anthea, for you, right? How did, I asked each filmmaker, how did you guys get into filmmaking, right? Was this something that you knew early on when you were growing up? Or was there some type of inspiration that drew you to filmmaking?
Yeah, so I wasn't allowed, you said that earlier, to be in the arts. That's just a hobby, right? When I grew up, it was more like, Anthea, you have to be a nurse or a doctor or you're a disappointment. So I used to be a geneticist, actually. So I used to work in genetics. And then I decided to pivot and really focus on singing and then musical theater in New York. And then I was on the final callbacks for The Voice in Los Angeles. Flew me out here, and I was like, this weather's insane. That's a lot better than New York. So my husband and I moved out here, and then I got into film, TV, and that way. And we got into film TV because, we're storytellers. My husband's a writer. We love movies. And we were like tired of waiting for people to choose us. People that never done what these folks who are on this panel have done are telling you can't do it because it's not good enough. We're like, well, let's see you produce. Let's see you write. Let's see you put your heart out there, and then we'll talk.
Exactly. And then say something. Yeah, exactly.
And then say something. And then you're in the arena. So we just decided to choose ourselves and choose our friends. We chose ourselves and choose our friends. We chose our community, and we asked for help. And so that's how we kind of got into filmmaking, and stopped waiting because life is too damn short to wait to be chosen. You have to live and do what you love to do, because you're never granted your next breath or your next opportunity or next thing. So if you choose yourself, you get to live right now. You get to create right now, and you don't just sit there and just hope and wish to be chosen. So that's kind of like our path towards building our studio, making movies, and choosing ourselves. So yeah,
I love that. I love that. Choose yourself, right? You got to prioritize, because who else is? No one else is going to do it for you. It's all you. You got to, and it's scary and it's challenging, right? Absolutely. And of course, the financial aspect, right? Like, God, how are we going to put this, do we have the financials to back this, project up and whatnot? So, but like, you do it, you find a way, right? I think at the end of the day, to make it all work. So that's exciting. Now, Anthea, you had a movie prior to this one as well, right? Prior to Sheryl. And this leads up, is Sheryl kind of like a spinoff of that, of the other movie?
Yeah, so this was actually based off of the award-winning short Face On. And so that was more of like an experimental, darker, more horror based short film. And we gotten a lot of feedback through festivals and just friends being like, what the hell happens? You gotta let me know what the heck happened.
Leave them hanging. So, you're like, oh, come on.
Like, then it worked, right? So it's like, okay. And then my husband went and started to sit and write the feature. And so, when that took, that whole journey kind of discovered into and fell into more of a dark comedy, horror thriller type of feel. So yeah, that's how it just went down that path. But we did also have some investors, private investors that came to us that wanted to be in the to be part of the film in earlier versions of it when we were starting to go into pre-production and such. But with that being said, with investors and things like that, you decide to yourself how much are they going to be in the creative control. And so we decided that we weren't going to sell our movie. We were just going to create ourselves. We're going to do it ourselves. So we decided to do the independent, fully raise funds that way. So
wow, that's great. And how long did it take, like production, right, from the time that the concept, right, of the movie all the way through production? How long was that process?
So, well, the longest process would be pre-production. So the longest was pre-production, and then we only shot for 14 days. So we shot for 14 days for the entire feature film. We did stunts, live. We did stunts, implied nudity, practical blood, all in 14 days, and with a lot of costume change and the big cast. So that was just like everyone coming together, and we've tried to build like this safe environment for like a family oriented type of feel. So everyone's in it and doing this with the same mission to tell this story.
That's awesome. Okay, you talked about practical blood. Okay, what is that? I mean, for those of us who are not part of the film industry, who don't know, about, what is all of that? I mean, what is that made out of? Just kind of curious.
So we have like over 2 gallons of blood that is like just pre-made, pre-mixed. And then we had a special effects artist with our key makeup artist that would just, design the blood on your face. So so that would be just real live, makeup, real blood on your face compared to special effects. So if, for instance, if I have that, at that ending scene for my the trailer, she's covered in blood. That is all actual, like drawn on, like real, like not real blood, Lord. It's the no on blood. No, it's like it's just
exactly.
It's like blood on that she just designed on my face, to the point where I was out in the sun, that you see this tan line. I had when I took off the blood, I had tan line with blood on my face. Yeah, girl. I was like, but that's the difference, is that because if I were to do that scene with not practical blood, is it called, then in post production, like after we wrap the film, then our special effect, then our visual effects artists would put blood on you, like digitally on the film. So that's when you can see if it's practical blood, like it's real blood, or like you have it on set when the camera is rolling, or after. So it's visual effects or the practical blood. So we chose to do a mix of both, but most of it is practical blood.
That's awesome. I love it. For those of us, again, who don't know that behind the scenes magic that happens, definitely appreciate you explaining all of that. So that's wonderful. All right, Anthea. Now, where can our audience, right, if they want to catch your film, where can they do that? Where can they see it?
So we would love it if you go to all the social media platforms and follow us at Sheryl the movie, and you will get all the updates there. We are also expanding the world of Sheryl, and we're actually doing a comic book as well. So we're gonna premiere the feature film this year, and just watch out for all of those news at Sheryl the movie.
You got it. Sounds good. All right, went ahead and put it in the chat. So folks, if you're not already following, make sure you go to your IG and look up Sheryl the movie and hit that follow button. So awesome. Yay. All right, we're going to go ahead. Sheryl, I'm calling you Sheryl. No, Anthea.
Yes.
She's like, yes, I am, but no. Anthea, thank you so much again for joining us this Saturday morning just to share your amazing film, this film with your husband. Again, I'm sure it's a labor of love, and to be able to see it come to fruition. I just can't imagine the feeling, that you guys are going through with all of this. Alrighty, I'm going to go ahead and bring back Adrian and Alijah. Let's see, Adrian and Alijah, are you guys ready to join us back on stage here? There is Alijah. Yay. All right, I'll wait for Adrian to come back and we'll go. But my God, you guys, again, such different movies, right? Different concept, different stories, but all just wonderful. I hope our audience here today, again, if you guys have not already seen it, please go see it. Adrian's movie is still going to be shown here at the San Diego Film Festival, the virtual option. And then Alijah, you have yours coming up, right, at the San Diego Asian Film Festival as well. And then Anthea, we'll be learning more about yours, right, in the coming months. So
yes.
Anticipation. She's there. And let's see, is this Adrian? Are you back, Adrian?
Hi, I am here. I'm traveling, but I'm here.
Oh, he turned into Dory.
I know. I was like, Dory. All good. Well, we don't want you. Oh my goodness. No, that's awesome. Okay, well, we don't want to, be careful. Yeah. If you need to drop off, feel free to drop off. Safety first. So, okay, guys. So just a few last questions before we end. It is Filipino American History Month, right? And we're pretty much rounding it out here with today's interview. What does it mean to be a Filipino American filmmaker? And keep it nice and short. Alijah, we'll start with you if that's okay.
Yeah. I think I want to build on what Anthea was saying, and that it's awesome when the vernacular switched around. I like to brand myself as someone who's a filmmaker who happens to be Filipino American. And when you look at it like that, it means so much more. Because Filipino American, the adjective itself, is synonymous with anything, doctor, soldier,
Yes.
But filmmaker, that is only synonymous with people like us, and people with a culture and identity, a story worth exploring. That is the real essence to me of at least my brand as a Filipino American filmmaker. Yeah.
Love it. All right, Adrian, your turn. Your turn. What does it mean to
I
you?
pulled over, y'all. Don't do what I'm doing. For me, like being an immigrant, because I've been here since I was 10 or 9, and I'm 31. I feel like the way that I can continue to honor my heritage from being someone who's born there is to create my own opportunities, and to instead of instead of just like this level of an upper limit, which is often like in the medical field, anything traditional, I wanted to really use what my parents gave me and try to bring it higher. And the only way to do that is through this. So yes. And also to telling our stories, and through authenticity, because if you don't tell it, then someone else is going to tell it and it's wrong. So that's all.
I love that. Thank you, Adrian. And then Anthea.
For me, I'm also an immigrant. I was born in the Philippines and came here when I was 4. The best way to honor being a Filipino American is to be my best self, because I am who I am. I am a Filipino American. And the best way that I could share that is to be exactly who I am, and being authentic in the way that I choose to share my stories, and interact in the world, is be proud of being me. And that's how I show up into the world, because my skin is my skin, and I identify as Filipino, but I'm also American, but I'm also human, I'm also female. Like, all of this is all encompassing. So the best way I could honor that is be authentically myself. And I think that is the best way. You cut my hair, wear costumes and different like that, or whether I used to be in the lab to being a filmmaker now. the best way I could do that is to be myself and stand up and be proud of that.
That's wonderful. No, I love it. You guys all have different answers, come from different areas, and they're all right. That's just exactly it. So, all right, one fun question for you guys. All right, it is Filipino American History Month. All right, what is your most lumpia or pancit? Here we go. Anthea, lumpia or pancit, which is your favorite?
What? First on this one. Okay.
Pancit.
Jeez. Okay, fine. Lumpia. I would.
Lumpia.
I would. If I were to grab it, that would be, yeah, definitely. Fresh lumpia.
Awesome.
There you go.
I was going to say, wait, which type is it? So fresh. Okay. Alijah, we'll go to you next.
I'm tearing up the lumpia Shanghai and the sauce. If it's on the table, I'm filling my plate with those.
Okay, but and if you see that there's one left on the bendihado, one lumpia left, do you take it or do you leave it?
I leave it for the little kid.
I was hoping you're gonna say, I just take it. I'm taking it, dipping in that sauce. So no, all good. It looks like we lost Edrian, but that's okay. If he comes back, we'll bring him back on. All right, guys. Well, thank you all again. We definitely appreciate all of you joining us this morning and sharing your love and passion for filmmaking. Please let our audience know, are there any final thoughts that you want to share with them? And we can start with Alijah. We'll go to you.
Yeah, I'll just say, keep yourself updated on Awaken, myself and Adrift. Mainly my Instagram and YouTube are at Alijah Buada. I also, in collaboration with Isabel Pineda, who directed a documentary that I helped produce. It's called Phil Am Maker, and it's a story about our dearest friend, Jasper Capelad. Stay tuned for that. And also I worked on the script with Harsimran Sandhu, who has a short film titled Pulp that's in the film circuit right now. I believe it's showing in the Coronado Film Festival.
Nice.
Coming up. Mm-hmm. And then shout out the Phil Am Collective and Edrian. I'm new to this collective, but I'm sure there are many future collaborations in store. And yeah, just find me and I'll be there.
That is awesome. Yay. And then how about you, Anthea?
Yes, you can find us at Sheryl the Movie. That's where all the movie updates and expanding the world for Sheryl. And at Official Anthea is my handle. And I would like to leave everyone on this panel and everyone on the chat who's joined us today is to take action now. Take your visions, your dreams, and put them into action now. Go live it. Don't wait. Write the story, create the movie, sing the song, record it, do it all right now. We are never granted tomorrow. It's your time right now. And go find your voice, make your stories, do it.
Mm-hmm. All right, guys, you heard it straight from them. Go do it. Go out there, choose yourself, take a chance, right? You just never know where that's going to take you. So it's been pretty good for these guys right here. All right, everyone, thank you for joining us. I see Joshua, Jason. I see D1 Drew in the chat, DJ Verse, Lila. Thank you all, everyone who tuned in from either YouTube or from Facebook or Twitch. We definitely appreciate you all being here. And so with that said, Alijah and Anthea, thank you so much. We're super grateful. Best of luck to you all, to both of you, and Edrian as well on your upcoming projects. Super looking forward to everything that's coming out in the future for you guys. And with that said, we're going to go ahead and end here, guys. So thank you all. Thank you, everyone, for joining us today. Have an amazing day, all.